Hey there, it's Seth Myers, Atlanta Spine Sport and Rehab, and today we're going to go over how to work through the calf muscles with something like this lacrosse ball. So if you haven't done this in the past, you might find that this is a really great way to hit some of those very specific spots. So Matt's going to help us demonstrate. So with this ball and just sitting on the ground like this, which is the way I recommend working on the calves, it's hard to kind of roll a bunch back and forth because that ball is round and it can roll all different directions. And if we're sitting on our butt, it's just hard to slide back and forth. So typically what I'll have folks do is put that ball underneath the calf and wiggle around a little bit until we find a tender spot. Once we find a spot that's good and tender, then what I'll typically have folks do is hold pressure there and then move that calf muscle by bringing toes up and then point toes down. So we'll have Matt stand up real fast just so we can see kind of how the calf works. But so back towards, there's two heads of the calf. There's an outside group and an inside group. So while you're working through the calf muscle, kind of keep that in mind. We want to try to get that ball kind of right in the middle of that outside group at some point, and we also want to try to get that calf or that ball right in the middle of the inside group of that calf muscle. So let's go ahead and sit back down. We'll work through it some more. So the other things we can do, so ball on tender spot right in the middle of those calf muscles, is if we need more pressure, if this isn't enough for us, what we can do is actually cross this leg over top. And so we'll get some extra pressure from that outside leg. Using that lacrosse ball gets very, very specific, and the calf muscles are usually pretty tender. So you might not need that extra pressure, but if you find yourself, not really finding any really good tender spots, you might just need a bit more pressure, which can be given to us by crossing those legs over. So usually I'll have folks just work back and forth for anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes or so, kind of hitting different specific spots of that calf muscle. But you can usually do this multiple times throughout the day, especially if you're dealing with some Achilles pain or some calf pain or even some heel pain. So this is a really great drill to work on using that ball or using something like this to hit specific little trigger points and spots throughout that calf muscle. So if you're dealing with pain like that, give this one a shot.